Well, hello out there in YouTube land. Happy Monday. Happy Juneteenth. I hope everyone is having a great day, whether you're working today or you got one of them cushy government jobs with them great benefits where you get the day off. Maybe you're a bank manager. You're sleeping in. You got nothing to do. You want to watch something on the YouTube. Well, we've got you covered, folks. My name, of course, is Danny Deals, and I am with a little organization called Un Poco Mas, a little organization, no pun intended. We give you just a little bit more on behalf of executive producer Ken Lopez and supervising producer Stock Karen, uh, who incidentally would like to speak with your manager once the video's done. If you could send him on over, she just has a little bit of a complaint. But we'd like to talk with you today. As you can see right there, right there. UBX, United Biotechnologies Inc. I know most of you have already tuned out because this intro was so horrible, but be that as it may, guys, UBX, United Biotechnology Inc. Today is June 19th, as I mentioned. Time is about 8 a.m., but that doesn't matter because the market's closed today. But guys, I wanted to bring in an update on this stock. Haven't talked to you in about a month. Um, Sort of the life has been sucked out of the stock. As most of you know, brief history. This company had a couple of products in its pipeline. They're trying to reverse the core causes of aging, fighting something called senescent cells. They have these molecules they've developed. The one that's sort of left in the pipeline right now, the company was pretty much on the ropes financially. They had some bad readouts. So UBX 1325 was their area of focus, is their area of focus, and this is combating diseases of the eye. It's basically they're testing it for wet AMD as well as DME, diabetic macular edema. So obviously, guys, I want to share my screen with you. And what happened was the stock was marching up here. Everything was looking pretty good. Hit $5.50, kind of traded down, traded sideways, and then everyone was very hopeful when the wet AMD data came out and the stock fell off a cliff. Basically, the control group made some really large and unexpected gains in visual acuity of at the very beginning of the trial, and they sustained those. Just kind of an unexpected, kind of odd data result, but the data wasn't even very bad. But for the UBX 1325, the stock just fell off a cliff, went all the way down to under $1.50, and then since that time, the stock marched back up to over $3.50 and has since pulled back a little, sitting at 320. So it's more than doubled. And the key there was the company got some very positive, promising data on DME at the 48-week mark, which was a follow-on study, a phase 2 study. So they're planning a phase 2B study, which will go head to head against the current standard of care, which I believe is Regeneron, Eylea. So that's a anti-VG. I always forget VGEF, VEGF, but it's a different. It's a, I would say, a more antiquated technology that restricts the blood vessel. The problem with those medicines is they go after both healthy and unhealthy cells. It kind of helps you while it's hurting you. Like, while it provides some benefit, there are side effects. So with UBX 1325, they got extraordinary data at 48 weeks, and there's none of the harmful side effects. And a lot of people think, well, they'll be able to use this drug in combination with other therapies. And that's another trial they're going to start with the wet AMD, because there are clearly benefits to UBX 1325. It actually seems to rebuild the structures of the eye that have been harmed. Guys, if you look at this chart, I drew some lines here. I drew this wedge a long time ago before any of this trading actually took place. I drew this arrow. I basically said, we're going up from here. This retested, if you see this, basically this line kind of flipped from resistance to support. It retested, then bounced back off. We crossed the 50-day moving average right here in May, and the stock has basically been very strong. I don't think the stock was basically murdered on the back of sort of so-so wet AMD data, and then when they got extraordinarily good DME data yet again, the stock didn't move. I don't think recover quite as quickly. I think certain market makers, short long hedge funds, might have their hooks into the stock just a little bit, and I think also. People were a little bit, or at least I was as an investor in the company, I was disappointed some of the insiders, institutions didn't come in more heavily at $1.50. You think this company, um, with a market cap of $45 million, considering the market they're addressing, how far along they are, the positive both efficacy and safety data that's been demonstrated, you'd think they'd be doing just a little bit better here, a little bit more rapid recovery. Guys, you can see basically since the stock bottomed out beginning of April, this trend line has really held up well. It's tried to make a run a couple times, come back and tested. You see it just hugging right here, and then as it marched up, crossed over the 50-day moving average, and then actually just very, very recently, June, looks like about June 6th, crossed over the 200-day moving average, and that was a pretty big event. And also at that same time, you notice little um, that little nexus right there. Also, this basically filled the gap from pre wet AMD. You think, okay, you could say the gap starts there at $4.15. I would argue that it kind of starts there when this sell off hit at $3.41. I don't think the gap has to be, I'm not big on this, like, everything has to fill. The price action is price action. People buy and sell, and institutions buy and sell for different reasons. I don't think just that there's some hole in the chart there really drives that much, but market mechanics are very powerful, and market forces do tend to act in certain ways, in certain patterns. So you could say, well, this isn't always going to happen, but it does happen more often than not that, sort of people panic, people overreact, and over time, this things sort of equalize, and statistics always revert to the mean. And I think that's what people mean by gap filling. It's like people overreact, and then sort of sanity prevails, and the stock tends to revert back to where it should be. So what's going to happen from here, guys? I think what's going to happen is we're going to regain this trend line, regain the 200-day, and then we're just going to see a steady march up, I believe. Analysts like the stock. What I like to see happen here, guys, is we're going to I think the magic number here is like $6.10, because I think we get above this previous high here, short-term high of $5.51, and then I think we're going to move to this level here, which is $6.10. This was the last time, if you note, guys, the stock basically traded completely sideways for an entire month. And then when the stock fell off a cliff after this massive pump and dump, it found support. It found buying pressure again at $6.10. And for the last, 10 months, the stock has been under this level. It has been well under the 200-day. Again, you see it try to break the 200-day right here in February, and it did so briefly, and then came back down again. Hit the 200-day again here in March. Couldn't break through. Was attempting to push through the 50-day, and I believe would have pushed through the 200-day, but that wet AMD data, guys, it was a broken arrow. It was very weird data. You'd have to really dive into it, but patients that hadn't been responding to the control medication, the VEGF blocker, they all of a sudden had this big positive response, which immediately put UBX 1325 behind the eight ball. So the data just looked horrible for UBX, but if you really sort of dig into it, it's just very odd data. You could almost you know you could sort of discount it because it was just such an odd result that the patients had such a big response right at the beginning of the trial to the medication that they hadn't been responding to for some time. But anyway, guys, so what's going to happen now? Again, I believe we're going to go up through this previous high. Why do I believe that, guys? Well, um, I just want to take a look at the analyst estimates briefly. On average, we have five ratings. Average is a strong buy, $7, which would be 118% upside from here. Roth MKM was the most recent rating initiated out of buy. Citi, look the highest rated analyst guys. Yigal, I'm probably Nokomovitz. This guy's really good. I've read a lot of his calls, and he's just good. And then Matthew Caulfield, who he reiterated a buy at $10 on the stock last month. This guy is one of the best analysts on Tip Ranks, one of the best analysts in the country, I believe, as far as these small cap pharma, small cap biotech companies. You could see he's ranked in the top 150 out of almost 8,500 analysts, and out of experts, he's in the top 400 out of almost 34,000. His success rate is 76%. He made money 39 out of 51 transactions, and his average return is 53%. Guys, these are back tested results. So, pardon me. Um, Throat's a little bit dry, guys. But in any case, just looking at his record, he's looking for the stock to 3x, and he's one of the best analysts in the country. And if you take a look at his history, guys, this guy is not one of these hacks who's just, some college intern. Like H.C. Wainwright's a legitimate place. He's been there for 4 years. He was with Piper. Before that, two more firms. He's got, his career goes back 9 years of experience with seven different firms, five exams passed, and one license. So he is a broker, registered investment advisor. He's not, just some clown writing on the internet. So, in any case, guys, one of the things that's sort of worrying to me, and you see more analyst coverage here, is that insiders and institutions just were not taking the opportunity to buy the stock down below $2. You see, guys, I know a lot of these sales are very small, like say these sales are 4,000, 3,000. These can be because of stock options being granted. They have to sell a certain amount of shares, a small amount of shares to cover the basically to cover the taxes, the tax liability on those sales and on the stock options. But anyway, guys, I just don't like to see this guy sell, 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 going back this year, sell, 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 all the way through 2022, sell, 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 sell. I mean, guys, I don't see an insider buy like there. David Nathaniel, founder and president, with an insider buy back in 2020. Otherwise, it's just been dumping, guys. Dumping, dumping. It's not, these are small transactions, but it just troubles me that when the market cap went down to like 20 million, nobody's buying the stock, guys. Nobody's buying the stock. Why is nobody buying the stock? What do these people know that I don't know? The data looked incredible. The stock is very, very cheap. There's a huge market. There's massive potential. The safety is there. The results are there. Like, why aren't they buying the stock? Down in the comments, guys, tell me, why are the insiders not buying the stock? And this is the latest filing. Anirvan, again, Aniv, Anirvan Ghosh, the CEO, again taken dumping 1,212 shares. He still owns 86,000 shares, so he's got some skin in the game. He's got about 300 grand worth of shares. He's relatively new to this company. I don't think he's a wealthy guy. He's an extremely accomplished academic and scientist. And I believe a very good CEO. And that's another thing, guys, that you should really be able to hang your hat on is the cost controls, this very, very strong fiscal management UBX has shown of late. As you know, Dr. Dannenberg, the medical director, stepped down. They had to pay him, a big severance deal, but he was very good. I heard him being interviewed a few times. I think he really believed in the company, but I think there was only so much he could do, and his job was sort of done there. Like the development of UBX 1325 is done. Now it's just the trials. Like the drug is done. They don't have money currently to push any other molecules, I think, into trials. So they have to get UBX 1325 into P3 and get this thing to market for this company to thrive and survive. So, guys, that's kind of my little spiel on UBX 1325. One of the reasons I'm so high on UBX United Biotechnology is that their current market cap is about 45 million. And the DME market already is, depending on which sources you look at, it's 4 to 5 billion. And just look at the sales of like these are the standards of care, the VEGF therapy, anti-vascular endothelial growth factor. Guys, I cannot pronounce these science words. I was told there would be no math. But there's some new drugs coming on, and one of the keys is they want to have a lower frequency of administration. So then Eylea, aflibercept, Lucentis, Avastin, these are the currently available treatments. So they're looking at Vabismo, which requires 6 treatment days a year on average. It could be reduced to as little as twice a year following the loading phase. So, but look at, they're not talking about UBX 1325, which showed incredible results with one treatment over 48 weeks. And it was like over half of the patients, I think, didn't require any rescue dosing of VEGF. And also, it rebuilt retinal structures. Just an incredible potential behind this drug, and they're looking for the DME global market to continue to grow quite rapidly, with that growth concentrated in the United States. Depending on who you read, by 2031, the market should reach 11 billion, or I've heard 10 billion, I've heard 12 billion, I've heard 9. So if you average it out, guys, 10, 11 billion. Within the United States alone, the market by that time, by the time this drug probably would get to market, would be probably more than 4 or 5 billion just in the United States. And if you look at the sales for like Eylea, it's massive, guys. It's absolutely massive. These are huge, huge drugs. Um, so I believe what's happening now from the $1.50 we were at after the sort of failure of the wet AMD phase 2 trial. Um, I believe what's happening is accumulation by both retail and probably some hedge funds. Guys, let's take a look and just see if anybody's actually buying the stock. Let's take a look just who's holding the stock, just the makeup of that. So we have Arch Ventures holding quite a few shares. Let's just take a look at the institutional ownership of the stock. It's just not huge, guys. There's a few players in there, but only a handful holding more than like $1 million worth of stock, which you might expect, because again, the whole market cap's only 45 million, and that's mostly being held by retail investors. So as far as the insider and institutional buying, pretty weak here, guys. Pretty weak. But as far as the chart, guys, looking very, very strong. The stock was building a lot of momentum up to the $5.51 level, and then just kind of fell off a cliff after some selling, and then been a lot of selling pressure on the stock, even after it fell down to like $1.90. Pushed it all the way under $1.50, pretty much stopped out everyone on earth, even those who bought the stock after the fall. And then I think some smart folks are accumulating here. So, just to take a look at the Seeking Alpha, there's not much news on the stock, guys. It's just like it's just dead right now. There's just waiting for results, waiting for something to happen. It's a strong buy on Wall Street, valuation B plus, revision A. People have been revising their price targets only upward on the stock recently. I know Citibank just revised from $5 up to $6, so that's a very good sign. Guys, sorry about that. Just had somebody knocking at my office door. But hey, guys, just want to bring you an update on UBX United Biotechnologies Inc. The stock has been steadily marching up to the $3.50 level, then pulled back to about 3.20. I do expect the stock to continue its upward momentum and get back above that $5.51 level, and I think approach $6.10, which would represent closer to its true value, according to, I believe, the best analysts that cover the stock. So I still think you have a good opportunity to buy this stock for about half of what it's worth. I do expect continued great data in terms of DME. Wet AMD is a big question mark, but does provide a bit of an insurance policy and an extra incentive, with the UBX 1325 being their only drug right now in serious trials and not development, but serious trials. It's been developed. Good news is the safety and the results, the efficacy as far as DME have consistently been outstanding. And I do expect this drug to eventually get to market either as a solo treatment or in combination with current anti-VEGF therapies. So I think UBX is a much safer bet as time goes on. It represents a bargain. My concerns are that insiders and institutions aren't really buying the stock. It's just kind of been on life support. No really good news or bad news since the 48-week DME data. Guys, that's UBX, United Biotechnology. Let me know what you think of the stock down in the comments. Are you buying, selling, or holding? What is your current price target? What is your long-term price target? What's your time horizon on the stock? I don't think there's anything to trade here, guys. You're going to have to decide to get in this thing for the long haul if you want to get in. Guys, my name's Danny Deals. Thanks a lot for watching Un Poco Mas for Hurricane Lopez. We will talk at you again later if anything happens with this little gem. You guys have a great day. Bye bye.